Okay, we should be live. So yeah, we're in the waiting room for Nails versus however you pronounce Prrot, otherwise known as Renzo Navarro. Should be a really good game. They should be starting any minute now. So yeah, should be chill. Be awaiting the match link somewhere. True. Always nice to get a game before going to sleep. It's facts. Question is, where is the game? Oh, okay, there we go. All right, we're in. We've got a pretty interesting uh, well, I say pretty interesting. Pretty two pretty standard arrow teams here. One with guard and one with Floet. Um, okay, and take a look at the OTS here. One of these got the kind of the standard Sylveon set, Hyper Voice, Quick Attack, Hyper Beam. So that's going to be really big here to kind of like take advantage of like the Fairy Aura when Floet Mega Evolves. And then yeah, just pretty relatively standard teams here. Um, looks like it's Scarf Bast on probably both teams. Okay, Sash on Nails' team. With liquidation as opposed to the wave crash the other side. So yeah, the Aerodactyl's going to be really annoying for Nails. Or well, not necessarily like really annoying, but it's going to be like very important here for Renzo, right? Because want to prevent this yard from getting out of control, as well as like just kind of like important speed control here. Both sides are going to need to prioritize getting up tailwind. All right, so is it the Floette lead plus Sneasler into the Arrow plus Garchomp? Decent lead, I think, for Nails. I do want to like worry about protecting this Garchomp, I guess. But oh wait, it doesn't even have okay, it's Scarf. So good lead for Renzo then. As a free like fake out plus like probably Deagling or Calm Mind if he so chooses. But we'll be conceding speed control here likely. So um, yeah, definitely a little bit awkward here, right? Because yeah, I mean you can like try to do something with Garchomp, but you don't really have a way to immediately remove this Floette. So definitely threatening like either an attack or a big Calm Mind here. So yeah, definitely good stream. All right, so we're just gonna see the Basque switch out here for the Garchomp. But we'll get immediately punished by the intimidate. Okay, it's actually Mega Arrow. Okay. We're going to see a flinch from the first rock slide of the game. We do not. Okay. Heavy damage from Dealing onto both targets. Yeah, definitely in Renzo's favor right now. Flood is like very, very scary. Like it's just so difficult once you get like kind of out of position against the spawn, right? So it doesn't look like, considering the Arrow Mega Vault, it doesn't look like Nails brought a Fairy Resist this game. So definitely a little bit tricky to try to position around this. Um, you could maybe try to like get some speed control in your favor here with Arrow, but um, Floette's just kind of going to trade positively here if it doesn't get flinched. Yeah, no flinch. Arrow's going to live on one, but it will be susceptible to that Aqua Jet on the next turn. And Floette is probably just has enough health to stay out of range for whatever the Garchomp wants to do. The Scarf Garchomp, the only thing that could outspeed at this point. I'm kind of curious what's in the back for Nails here. Could be either Gambit or Sylveon would make sense. We're gonna see the Garchomp come out here. Yeah, there's like a Gambit switch in. Good punish for that for that Gambit there. I'm not sure I really necessarily agree with switching out the Floette there, but it's not the end of the world. Pretty sizable lead so far, right? So we're positions with that flip turn, dodging yet another Rock Slide flinch. Garchomp did just lock into a move that can't hit the Sneasler, so that's pretty big. Uh, don't really see a whole lot stopping this Sneasler. I think like Fake Out plus like CC is really huge here, right? If the Sneasler gets on burning off, it should be able to like pretty cleanly wrap up this game. King Gambit's like fairly chipped as well. The Choppleberry might not even matter at this point. Yeah, there's the Fake Out. We're just going to see the CC into Garchomp probably get the wider activated, and yeah. All right, so Unburden is online. The Garchomp still locked into a -1 attack that can't really hit the Sneasler. So this game one looks like pretty much over. We'll see how Nails adjusts for game two here. Yeah, there's the CC. Does pick up the kill. Rock Slide not enough to get the Sneasler. So yeah, it's pretty much Jober. Yeah, it's the Scarf Bass to wrap up the game. All right, so what went wrong there, right? I think the Floette was just in such a good position from lead for Renzo. It was so difficult for Nails to trade positively there from turn one. Um, so probably wants. I feel like at this point you got to consider at least like bringing the yard. Um, Probably was scared of like Arrow plus like Chomp stuff, but neither of those actually came out, and it was just like the remaining four, right? So we'll see if Renzo decides to like adjust to like Aerodactyl or Garchomp here to probably anticipate like whether Nails is going to bring the yard now, because it just brought the mode that was like less afraid of those two Pokemon, and then it wasn't even brought, and they didn't really have anything for the Floette. So lots of considerations to be had here. Yeah, the Mega Arrow is like just have enough to really slow down the Floette. There just wasn't enough damage for it, especially with like no steel move on the Gambit. Like it was just kind of cooked. All right, so we see Arrow plus Yard into Floette plus Ensign. So a little bit of a better lead for Nails here, right? You have speed control. You have like some more immediate damage into Floette. Like it can't go for Calm Mind, but um, it's still a little bit better than like last game where there just like kind of really wasn't a whole lot to damage it. You'll be able to get like the speed advantage here pretty considerably. I believe this is Weather Ball Yard as opposed to like Overheat or something. Yeah, it's Weather Ball. All right, so there's the Mega. We're probably just going to see a Fake Out into Yard here if I had to guess. And maybe like a Rock Slide just to fish for a flinch. A flinch here would be really bad for Renzo. So the lead matchup's kind of bad here. Okay, so there's finally a flinch for Nails. Colette flinch is really big for Nails. I have a chance to get like a full powered like attack into this Floette, which will have to protect itself if it wants to like not take any like serious damage. As opposed to if you got that Calm Mind up there, it was going to be much more difficult to be removed. Okay, so Flood is going to protect. Tailwind from Arrow. Probably just a Heat Wave. Yeah, there's a Heat Wave. Instant is chipped. Probably Punish on the yard. Yeah, that makes sense. Uh, Plenty of ways to make sure the Flood takes as minimal damage as possible. Still going to like obviously have to fear like a double up here, but definitely like pretty manageable. Yeah, there's another fake out. So it has the threat of just like fake out plus calm mind. Very strong in this board. It's just so difficult for these teams with like one Fury resist to ever beat Floette. Uh, Especially when the King Gambit doesn't have a steal move. Like there's just like no immediate damage this one. Except for like Basque late game can probably get there with adaptability last respects, right? But um, it's kind of difficult to even get yourself into a position where you can like win the game with that, right? So um, not easy from this. There's a dual wing beat that's not going to kill at -1, but it's big crit. Okay, that's huge. It does okay. No calm mind. I'm not sure how much I like that, but covering for switch out, I guess, and sizable damage onto both wands, right? So you're gonna have fake out online again this next turn. So actually, you don't. I'm not even sure if you really mind that crit necessarily that much, right? So although it is going to be more difficult now to get rid of a potential King Gambit in the back without Caesar. So there's Basque actually. Okay, opting not to go out into Ensign. Um, Probably just threatening like a flip turn here. Um, the Basque though, I feel like that's just not very safe, right? It has the threat of like Solar Beam on the other side. The art is faster. I mean, you get the instant switch here anyways, but I feel like it was just better to go instant first. Sizable weather ball. Okay, that's like a really bad flinch. I think that kind of seals up the game. Yeah, I don't think there's a way to beat potential Gambit in the back now. If that's what it is. I mean, if regardless, everything is just really low, so that's pretty devastating. That flinch. Looks like we're probably headed to a game 3 here. Ross is going to come back in. Arrow's just going to protect, ensure it like it gets a turn to set up Tailwind next turn, right? So there's that. Flood's very low. Basque does get in with speed control advantage, right? So you can just like go for a flip turn or a last respects. Still scary here for Nails. This game is not over. But if King Gambit is in the back, it should probably win. Um, if I had to guess. I mean, Sash Basque as well would be like very big. Um, Flood finally gets that Calm Mind, but it's so late in the game that I'm not even really sure it matters. Unless it outspeeds this, if it's very fast and outspeeds the yard, that would be pretty big here, I guess. But even still, I think regardless, if Basque's in the back, Nails just has this game locked up. Flip turn's going to come out back into Ensign. This is going to be a heat wave from the yard. Okay, it is fast from the Floet. Oh, Floet lives. Wow, that's nuts. But does not get the kill on the Charizard. So we'll see what Nails has in the back here. Again, like if you have Gambit, you probably just go it out and do it first. But regardless, one of Basque or uh, King Gambit should be able to clean up this game. Or Sylveon actually. Okay, interesting. I don't hate it. I mean, you can just like go for like a double protect here to like stall fake out, but there's potential plays right for Bass to come back in and potentially get like the really strong attack next turn, right? So not completely safe here. I mean, I guess Floet's not going to kill the Sylveon anyways. So Charizard's just going to be sacked. Sylveon's going to protect itself, and Bass comes in, and yeah, Bass in a pretty good position now. Um, hmm. This is very interesting. It's a little bit. Hmm. Can Renzo's Basque in the back 1v2 this endgame? Guess with like Hyper Beam, probably not. I'm assuming that it has enough to pick up Basque um, with like Aqua Jet chip potentially. So it's at least like a little bit uncomfortable there. Um, the Basque obviously has. Okay, he just opts to forfeit. I feel like this game was maybe. I mean, yeah, probably not. You're probably dead to a single target Hyper Voice, anyways. Um, I still feels kind of strange. I guess like you don't really have the turns to get the last respects proc, I guess. Anyways, we're gonna go game three. Yeah. So yeah, it was just a really unlucky game uh, for Renzo. So we'll have to see. Like, yeah, the yard was brought into no arrow, and it was just kind of difficult. But regardless, I feel like most of the time that game was like a lot more playable than it ended up being. So we'll have to see how both players adjust to that. Uh, I think if your nails, like, it's a little bit easier if you have Gambit in the back. But like Basque, obviously there was fine as well. I'm not sure like how much Sylveon really accomplishes in this game. Um, so there's that, I guess. Uh, yeah, I think staying away from the chomp here is probably good for nails, right? Like in game one, it was just like such like it was just kind of dead weight. It couldn't protect in front of fake out, and it was just immediately threatened by the Flowite. It was really difficult to position, but it could still have like some usage and getting over that like Sneasler and Basque or whatever. So it can at least be considered, but it would if like something similar to game one just brought, it's going to be pretty difficult to get mileage out of it, right? So I think I definitely like the yard mode better. It can kind of at least threaten serious damage onto everything. But if obviously if Renzo opts into the arrow stuff, it could be difficult. But on from Renzo's perspective, like how safe is arrow into like the King Gambit mode, right? So I think some like sort of like bringing both of them here is probably what you want to see if you're nails because yeah, it kind of covers all of your bases. I feel in the best way possible. Obviously, last game worked out too. I'm still kind of befuddled by the forfeit last game. I feel like there is still something to play for, um, even if the odds were like relatively low. All right, Arrow plus Incin into Arrow Sylveon. So Renzo opting to bring the Arrow this time to adjust for the yard, which makes sense, right? So, but does not match up in a yard on the yard can still very well be in the back, but definitely like not the end of the world here if you're nails, right? So Ensign is still pretty good here. Like the intimidate drop, like your arrow mount now matches up a lot better into the opposing arrow, um, and you do have like throat chop stuff for the Sylveon, which could be annoying depending on like the speed interaction between the two mons, which hasn't been revealed yet, right? Uh, so yeah. I think like something like Tailwind plus Fake Out is pretty safe if you're Renzo. Nails could double protect here, but I feel like that's like a little bit too passive to be honest. Like you want to get something out of the turn regardless, right? So I could see just like Tailwind plus Hyper Voice. He'll eat a Fake Out on one slot, but it's not like Arrow should be like an immediate danger the next turn. Okay, we see the Arrow Mega Evolve. That indicates there's no Charizard in the back. But Arrow's going to take a lot of damage on turn one. But Speed Control is in Nail's favor now. However, we do see that the Sylveon is not faster than the Arrow, even like even after Tailwind, right? Because it flinched later. Um, Rock Slide will miss on the instant. That's pretty big. We're going to see a Hyper Voice. That's going to do like 40 to instant. Yeah. Okay. Parting Shot into Sylveon. It's not like the worst start in the world if you're nails, but it's like a little bit. Like you do have speed control, but your Sylveon's at -1. You're kind of out of position. Both your mons have been chipped. Okay, Bass comes in. Since the Sylveon was revealed to be slower than the Arrow on turn one, it's going to be slower than this Basque as well with the Scarf. So if Sylveon wants to like get anything done this turn, it's going to need to rely on like a flinch from your own Arrow, or else it's probably like just going to be hit by like a water move. There's the Gambit. Okay, we see Aqua Jet. Good play by Nails. Another Rock Slide comes out. Another flinch. Wow, just back and forth in this set. So Nails like correctly catches like the switch in, and notably the Basque is now locked into Jet. It probably has to switch out, so you do have like a pretty safe target into the into that slot. But Sylveon getting flinched there is really rough. You didn't really get anything out of that turn. Still don't know the last Pokemon for either player. It's probably Basque from Nails again, and probably Floette, if I had to guess. It's going to be very difficult to deal with this Floette in the late game, I feel. I think it might just win, to be honest. Yeah, there's the Floette. Fairly safe switch in. Rock Slide's going to kill the Sylveon. And this Kingambit doesn't have an iron. I don't iron move, steel move. So Arrow is going to take a pretty significant amount of damage. It is in range of Rock Slide now from the Mega Arrow. I feel like protecting the Arrow was pretty safe last turn because you can like try to get your own Tailwind up later for your own Floette, and it can kind of just win. Um, but yeah, if your Nails like you do have Arrow, Mega Arrow can come in again, but it's not going to be able to like immediately remove the Floette. So I'm not sure if it like makes enough progress to like really accomplish anything. Like yeah, you can Rock Slide, but unless you like flinch the Floette, it's going to be they're still kind of on the back foot regardless of what happens this turn, right? The Kingambit's pretty chipped. Like it might be in Moonblast range, depending on its bulk. It probably can live from here, um, but it's still a little bit. You're not going to take it comfortably, right? And Deagleam is. We saw in game one that Deagleam did like 50 to Mega Arrow, so Deagleam is like really safe for Renzo. Deagleam Tailwind, just like hope your Floette doesn't get flinched. You can do that, or you could try to play a little bit more defensively, but I think you kind of can't afford to really not attack on this turn. So yeah, there's a Rock Slide. Does Nails get the flinch? No flinch, and Moonblast just kills the Kingambit, and that's really big. That basically seals up the game here because instant switch in is so for here. Okay, we just see the Basque. Hmm. Yeah, Basque can kind of just win. I think. I feel like I still would have liked to see instant come out first, though, right? Like, yeah, fake out pressure. It's a little bit. You get like a guaranteed attack drop immediately onto the Basque. Whereas like Mega Arrow is going to be faster than this Basque, but I think it really doesn't matter. It's like your only way to lose this game is from another Rock Slide flinch, probably. But yeah, I mean, you just kind of want to switch in instant anyway, so it's just like, okay, you do catch the protect on Arrow. That's pretty big. Um, Last Respects goes into instant. Yeah, the game's pretty much over now. You just get fake out into Deagleam and Mega Arrow will die. Tough set. Lots of Rock Slide flinches back and forth. That's the nature of this format, I guess. Yeah, really, really strong set. Um, yeah, Float was just like really, really scary here in the back in game three, and really damaging on bleed in game two. It's very difficult for Nails to like keep pace with that Pokemon, and without like a steel move on Gambit, there just kind of wasn't a way to immediately or damage it quick enough to prevent like major damage to the team.